Dandavat Pranam. Namaste. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 19, Text 21. Sarve Bhayam Tavad Ihasmaheta Kalhevaram Yavad Aso Vihaya Lokam Param Virajas Kam Vishokam Yasyatyam Bhagavata Pradhana. We shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, returns to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contamination and all kinds of lamentation. Purport. By the limitation of the material creation, which is compared to the cloud in the sky, there is the Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky, full of planets called Vaikunthas. Such Vaikuntha planets are also differently known as the Purushottama Loka, Achyuta Loka, Trivikram Loka, Rishikesh Loka, Keshava Loka, Aniruddha Loka, Madhava Loka, Pradyumna Loka, Sankarshna Loka, Sridhar Loka, Vasudev Loka, Ayodhya Loka, Dvaraka Loka, and many other million of spiritual lokas, wherein the personality of Godhead predominates. All the living entities there are liberated souls with spiritual bodies as good as that of the Lord. There is no material contamination. Everything there is spiritual, and therefore there is nothing objectively lamentable. They are all full of transcendental bliss and are without birth, death, old age, and disease. And amongst all the above-mentioned Vaikuntha Lokas, there is one supreme Loka called Goloka Vrindavan, which is the abode of Lord Sri Krishna and his specific associates. Maharaj Parikshit was destined to achieve this particular Loka, and the great rishis assembled there could foresee this. All of them consulted amongst themselves about the great departure of the great king, and he wanted to see him up to the last moment, because they would no more be able to see such a great devotee of the Lord. When a great devotee of the Lord passes away, there is nothing to be lamented, because the devotee is destined to enter into the kingdom of God. But the sorry plight is that such great devotees leave our sight, and therefore there is every reason to be sorry. As the Lord is rarely to be seen by our present eyes, so also are the great devotees. The great rishis, therefore, correctly decided to remain on the spot till the last moment. Text 22. Ashrutjata rishi ganavacha parikshit samhamudho chu guru kavyalikam abhasatinam abhinandya yuktan sushrushmanas charitani vishnoho. All that was spoken by the great sages was very sweet to hear, full of meaning, and appropriately presented as perfectly true. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit, desiring to hear of the activities of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, congratulated the great sages. Text 23. Samhagata sarvata eva sarve vedayata murti dharastri praste Nehatanamutra chakaskan charta Rite paranugraham atmasilam. The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here, having come from all parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others. But for this reason, you have no interest either in this life or in the next. Purport. 6 kinds of opulences, namely wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, are all originally the different attributes pertaining to the absolute personality of Godhead. The living beings, who are part and parcel entities of the Supreme Being, have all these attributes partially, up to the full strength of 70%. In the material world, these attributes are up to 78% the Lord's attributes, are covered by the material energy, as the sun is covered by a cloud. The covered strength of the sun is very dim compared to the original glare, and similarly, the original color of the living being with such attributes becomes almost extinct. There are 3 planetary systems, namely the lower worlds, the intermediate worlds, and the upper worlds. The human beings on the earth are situated at the beginning of the intermediate worlds, but living beings like Brahma and his contemporaries live in the upper worlds, of which topmost is Satyaloka. In Satyaloka, the inhabitants are fully cognizant of Vedic wisdom, and thus the mystic cloud of material energy is cleared. Therefore, they are known as Vedas personified. Such persons, being fully aware of knowledge, both mundane and transcendental, have no interest in either the mundane or transcendental worlds. They are practically desireless devotees. In the mundane world, they have nothing to achieve, and in the transcendental world, they are full in themselves. Then why do they come to the mundane world? They descend to different planets as messiahs by the order of the Lord to deliver the fallen souls. On the earth, they come down and do good to the people of the world in different circumstances under different climatic influences. They have nothing to do in this world save and except reclaim the fallen souls rotting in material existence, deluded by material energy. 24. Tatascha bhapriksham imam viprikche vishrabhya vipra iti krityatayam sarvatmanam riyamanaischa krityam sudham chatatram rishata biyukta. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. Purport. In this verse, the king has placed 2 questions before the learned sages. The first question is, what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances? And the second question is, what is the specific duty of one who is to die very shortly? Out of the 2, the question relating to the dying man is most important because everyone is a dying man, either very shortly or after 100 years. The duration of life is immaterial, but the duty of a dying man is very important. Maharaj Parikshit placed these 2 questions before Śukadeva Gosvāmī also on his arrival, and practically the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning from 2nd Canto up to the last 12th Canto, deals with these 2 questions. The conclusion arrived at, therefore, is that devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna, as it is confirmed by the Lord himself in the last phases of the Bhagavad Gita, is the last word in relation to everyone's permanent duty in life. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of this fact, but he wanted the great sages assembled there to unanimously give their verdict on this conviction, so that he might be able to go on with his confirmed duty without controversy. He has especially mentioned the word shuddha, or perfectly correct. For transcendental realization or self-realization, many processes are recommended by various classes of philosophers. Some of them are first-class methods, and some of them are second or third-class methods. The first-class method demands that one give up all their methods and surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus be saved from all sins and their reactions. Text 25. Tatra bhavad bhagavan vyasa putra yadrichaya gham atmano napekshaha alakshalingo nijalabhatushto dhritascha balar avadutavesha. At that moment, there appeared the all-powerful son of Vyasadeva, who traveled over the earth disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. Purport. The word Bhagavan is sometimes used in relation with some of the great devotees of the Lord, like Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Such liberated souls are disinterested in the affairs of this material world because they are self-satisfied by the great achievements of devotional service, As explained before, Śukadeva Goswāmī never accepted any formal spiritual master, nor did he undergo any formal reformatory processes. His father Vyasadeva was his natural spiritual master because Śukadeva Goswāmī heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. After this, he became completely self-satisfied. Thus, he was not dependent on any formal process. The formal processes are necessary for those who are expected to reach the stage of complete liberation, but Sri Śukadeva Goswāmī was already in that status by the grace of his father. As a young boy, he was expected to be properly dressed, but he went about naked and was uninterested in social customs. He was neglected by the general populace, and inquisitive boys and women surrounded him as if he were a madman. He thus appears on the scene while traveling on the earth of his own accord. It appears that upon the inquiry of Maharaj Parikshit, the great sages were not unanimous in their decision as to what was to be done. For spiritual salvation, there were many prescriptions according to the different modes of different persons. But in the ultimate aim of life, there is to attain the highest perfectional stage of devotional service to the Lord. As doctors differ, so also sages differ in their different prescriptions. While such things were going on, the great and powerful son of Vyasadeva appeared on the scene. Text 26. Tam dvyastavarsham shu kumara pada karora bhabhamsa kapola gatram charvayataksho nasa tulya karna subhrivhanam kamba sujatta kantam. This son of Vyasadeva was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and the other parts of his body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch shell. Purport. A respectable personality is described beginning with the legs, and his honored system is observed here with Śukadeva Goswāmī. And this honored system. He was only 16 years of age. A person is honored for his achievements and not for his advanced age. A person can be older by experience and not by age. Sri Śukadeva Goswāmī, who is described herein as the son of Vyasadeva, was by his knowledge more experienced than all of the sages present there, although he was only 16 years old. Text 27. Nigudha-jatram pratutungavaksham avartanabhim valibhalgudharam cha digambaram vaktra vikirnakesham pralamba bahum svamotaramambam. His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His arms were long and curly hair. And curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna. Purport. His bodily features indicate him to be different from common men. All the signs described in connection with the bodily features of Śukadeva Goswāmī are uncommon symptoms, typical of great personalities, according to physiognomical calculations. His bodily hue resembled that of Lord Krishna, who is the supreme among the gods, demigods, and all living beings. Text 28. Shamam sarabhivya vayogna lakshma Strinam manogyam ruchira smitena pratyutitaste munhayas vashanebyas talakshana gyapi gudha varchasham. He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert at the art of physiognomy. Physiognomy. And so they honored him by rising from their seats. 29. Sa Vishnu rato titaya agataya tasmai saparyam shirasar jarahar tato nivritya buddha sri yorbaka Mahashane Sopavi Vaishya Pujita. Maharaj Parikshit, who is also known as Vishnurata, one who is always protected by Vishnu, bowed his head to receive the chief guest, Śukadeva Gosvāmī. At that time, all the ignorant women and boys ceased following Srila Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Receiving respect from them all, Śukadeva Gosvāmī took his exalted seat. Purport. On Śukadeva Gosvāmī's arrival at the meeting, everyone except Srila Vyasadeva, Narada, and a few others stood up. And Maharaj Parikshit, who was glad to receive a great devotee of the Lord, bowed down before him with all the limbs of his body. Śukadeva Gosvāmī also exchanged the greetings and reception by embrace, shaking of hands, nodding and bowing down, especially before his father and Narada Muni. Thus he was offered the presidential seat at the meeting. When he was so received by the king and sages, the street boys and less intelligent women who were following him were struck with wonder and fear, so they retired from their frivolous activities and everything was full of gravity and calm. Text 30. Sasamvritas tatra mahan mahishyasam Vamarshi Rajharshi Devharshi Sangai Vyaro Chatalam Bhagavan Yatendur Graharkshatara Nikarai Parita. Śukadeva Gosvāmī was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous and he was respected by all. Purport. In the great assembly of saintly personalities, there was Vyasadeva, the Brahmarshi, Narada, the Devarshi, Parasurama, the great ruler of Kshatriya kings, etc. Some of them were powerful incarnations of the Lord. Śukadeva Gosvāmī was not known as Brahmarshi, Rajharshi, or Devarshi, nor was he an incarnation like Narada, Vyasa, or Parasurama. And yet he excelled them in respects paid. This means that the devotee of the Lord is more honored in the world than the Lord himself. One should therefore never minimize the importance of a devotee like Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 31 on what's today? On Wednesday. All glories to Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Charyadev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to our Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees Ki Jai. Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Nishingapali Dham Ki Jai, Ekachakra Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Pramanandi, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Jai Shri Śukadeva Gosvāmī Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.